The
I have no
private
clue.
coin.
Now my attempts at the logo make complete sense.
There was a lot of like logo was a thing. So it was a lot of, all right. So just to kind of give
Oh
like a little bit,
yeah, mine too. Yeah.
yeah. We had the sub cues were to observe Monero or XMR from April of this year to April of next year and record all perceptible data about its performance.
I had a beautiful moment of metaphor. My island. Did
Mhm.
you catch that one, Courtney? Yeah. I had a good metaphor moment on this one.
There were this one, I think analytically, this one a little bit of time to kind of pull things together because there was a lot of differences and some things that came up that didn't quite sort of match. But I overall I found all of your sessions had quite a lot of meat in them. And so let's get started with Edward and look at your two sessions so we can see what you have to say about Monero. And you had some kind of a future glimpse going on of some other market forces. So that'll be interesting.
Key factor being consensus and validation on the block. This is what people will want and trust. And this kind of quote unquote trust was an important word. And I wanted to know why. It symbolizes success rates and predictability. This project is successful like this, though, I questioned. It's very strong right now. It's a good operating system and it's running smooth. Well, I wanted to look at Easter Sunday in 2025 and see how it's running then. And it seemed the same. It was running smooth. I don't detect any major changes to the product. What about Christmas Eve 2025? I wondered. How's it running then? Seemed the same. Project was running. But interest or excitement seemed lower. And I wanted to know what was that all about? And I got a sense, I don't get a quote unquote bad sense, just a feeling of another day. Could just be another crypto winter or excitement is down at that time, but the project seems to be operating fine. But the feeling was that at the end of next year that we might be, these are my charts here. So this was on the 9th, and again, this is before the crash happened on the 11th. And I just got this feeling here of something bleak. It's like a run on a project. Money pulled out like the Terra Luna collapse. Is this specific to this project or to the market in general, though, I wonder? Feels like this feels like another hit or shakes the entire market and causes fear. Money stolen or hacked, instability returns. Well, when does this happen? I wondered. Within the next few weeks and in November. So that was right before the crash. Collateral damage could be another rug pull on an exchange or of that magnitude. So that was ominous. I don't know how that applies to Monero, but that's the reason why I had to do another session. I wasn't sure if that first session actually applied to this crypto that was the target or not. So I had to do another session. The second session didn't have the same feeling, but once the market took a big correction, I was wondering if what I was picking up was the correction that was coming within the next few days and how we may have another one in November. So
Yeah, it definitely looked like your second session was actually more target specific because especially the way that the technology worked, that was something that you whether you realize it or not, you did tap into. But yeah, that first one that you did, that definitely seemed like sort of an overarching just kind of warning for the financial kind of environment.
yeah, it kind of scared me. I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know if what's going on here. I gotta take a break on this. So we'll see what happens.
All right, Daz, let's see your session.
Okay, okay. Okay, here. So I start off with a really big dippy kind of up down wave pattern here to what is usually like the movement of the targets. I felt there was going to be a drop with a bounce and then a rebound fill. Again on this one, some very choppy action here, but with a rapid climb. And I even put a date here, 2024, 2025, maybe the end part of the year here. Moving on to try to sketch the logo, I knew it was a coin from the start, and then I was getting these very angular parts to it. I knew there were more than one of these parts. It felt kind of warm and fuzzy and okay. I felt like it was going to have rising, adapting movements, and it was backed with huge resources, and it felt something to do with California, but I don't know what that was about. And I had a sense and feel of a partner or a hidden relationship and a connection to something good, which would be big for the target. Moving inside the consciousness of this, it felt very happy, very Banksy. The whole thing felt Banksy, which is kind of represented in my ideograms as well. And it had this just up and down roller coaster feel to it, a bit like being on a fairground ride. Felt very fun and energetic and colorful and bouncy and yeah, just had a volatile feel to it though with the bounciness. I wrote there may be more options or competition in the future. So the future felt a bit more hazy on how it was going to perform. I think they're going to have a competitor that might cause them some issues.
Very nice. Lots of good data in there. And I do, it's so funny, like when some of the images come in and you said like, oh, I don't know about the technology, I don't know what the heck I'm drawing here. But it is always really interesting to me how that does come into play once I start getting into like how these things work. So yeah, that was interesting, I thought. And Naim, you're next.
Nerdy, geeky looking, someone who's like a genius at mathematics and advanced algebra, knowledge and coding, like would be in Mensa or something like that. And I got the feeling that like this person is like the originator of something, or like a godfather of, the first to do blank, so to speak. So maybe that has to do with privacy, or I know Monero's like one of the main privacy coins. Someone who made a unique contribution to the field. Here I saw what looked like a map or, a landmass, and something to do with proofs, coverage and service areas, different nodes and hubs. I got the sense of maybe select areas, like maybe some areas people aren't running nodes, or maybe illegal in some places. For the performance, 3 months, the short term felt like a significant dip.
Yeah, and that actually matched up quite nicely with what Daz had with that sort of that drop then rise. So there was a lot of points of correlation going on with this one. So nice job. Sean, you're next on the block.
So here's my first ideogram. Hang on a second. Okay, so here's my first visit. I can kind of see this is like the middle part of the M coming through. And then the third visit, I sort of got like a coin shape. Going into the structure one, I just saw somebody presenting in a boardroom with a couple people sitting around the table, and he was just kind of happy and presenting his data, and it just felt really kind of positive and upbeat. For the energy, I just got this like a sort of a vortex that was expanding up and outwards. I felt like it felt positive, and for some reason I heard "Money" by Pink Floyd playing.
I had a good, interesting remote viewing moment here, where I was moving. I was really tired. I had this nice recliner chair, and I laid back in the recliner chair to do this target, and I went right into an S5 deal where I was looking at this beautiful like Caribbean island, and I went, that's the Cayman Islands. This thing has to do with money laundering. Well, let me show it. I saw this beautiful blue island, and I go, that's the Cayman Islands. Some aspect of this is offshore, like money run through or out of the idea of money being hidden. And I looked this up, and turns out you can buy it in the Cayman Islands. That's part of the deal with Monero. You can get credit cards, and you can get Cayman Islands money, and so there is a money laundering thing. So that was apparently good data. All right, let's look at the whole session. Charts in a year associated with one visionary. Serious crypto with multiple functions. So I think the best data I had was the offshore aspect, that Cayman Islands money laundering.
Yeah, great session, Dick. Thank you.
So we'll see the analysis, Courtney.
We will. Any final thoughts before we finish up this one? Like I said, through the hopeful magic of editing, there will be another session in here with Derek. He recorded a session with Sean where they went over his data.
Also, more positive notes here: expansion and growth. Long-term sentiment appears to be from good to better, and then to excellent. A feeling of Christmas Eve, enriching lives of many. I see surfers riding big waves, big surges in market trends. And then I hear the word Kundalini, and not sure completely what that's all about, but smooth trend line with many ups and downs, a godsend for many, like a savior from poverty. I see an anchor of stability, a safety net, and a hedge from riskier investments. And I just have to ask, is this Bitcoin? I saw, because I literally saw a Bitcoin and it was gold. Then I did my charts here, and over the course of a month, you can see.
And if you stick around for the analysis, we had another little mystery session that was sent to me by Dick from another viewer, and pulled some stuff in there. So lots to see in the analysis based on looking at everybody's data. Do you have any other thoughts, or just?
I think from our data, it looks like there might be some opportunities to buy in and get out with the peaks and troughs that looks like they're in our data for the near term. So yeah, I will probably have a look at it tomorrow based on that data alone.
But as far as my second session goes, I think it's going to be one that's going to be around for a while. I mean, my whole thing looking out into the future was it's still running smooth. It's still doing that. Nothing's really changed for it. And so that's a pretty good sign for a crypto project, in my opinion.
Always want to stress that this is not financial advice. This is just the viewers' sneak peek into the future to see what might be going on with this. And it looks like, at least in the short term, that this has got some opportunities based on the volatility in the markets to possibly do something. So that's it from us. Thank you again from everybody here at the Future Forecasting Group. We'll see you soon.